Om Sadashivasamārambhām Shankarācharyamध्यamām Asmadācharyapariyantāം Vande Guru Paramparaṁ. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Good morning, and again let us carry on from where we were. I think the 13th verse we had completed. So we are now on the 14th verse. Please unmute yourself and we will chant the verse first. Verse number 14. Ajnana prabhavam sarvam
Ajnana-prabhavam sarvam
jnanena praviliyate
jnanena praviliyate
sankalpa vividha karta
sankalpa-vividha-karta
vicharassoyamidrishaha.
vicharassoyamidrishaha.
So Shankara is continuing with his discussion on how the vichara should be done. And we said that in fact all of Vedanta deals with three things. What are they?
Jiva Jagata Ishvara.
Jiva Jagat Ishvara. So in this sloka, Shankara takes up two questions: Jagat Vichara and Ishvara Vichara. In fact, Nimitta Karana Vichara. So Jagat Vichara deals with the question of the birth of the world, the origin of the world. How did the world originate? And so he says, Sarvam Ajnana Prabhavam. Prabhavam is born from, the birth. So Sarvam, everything, the entire universe, Prabhavam Ajnanaha, is born from Ajnanam only. And at the Vyashti level, the Ajnanam is called what? Ajnanam. At the Samashti level, it is called Maya. Right? Now we must remember that Maya, the Ajnanam. Now this is something which we should get our, understanding very clear. That Maya has to be taken as some sort of basic material, Upadana Karanam, because it is Maya which becomes the universe. And when we say that Maya is Ajnanam, the two words may cause a little bit of a problem in our mind. So we have to understand that this is Mula Ajnanam. Mula Ajnanam is Maya, the basic material of which the universe is born. The Upadana Karanam, material cause of the world, is called Maya. It's referred to as Mula Avidya, and Avidya means ignorance. So that is why we are referring to as ignorance. But for our understanding, let us be clear, it is basic material only. It is Upadana Karanam, right? The Parinami Upadana Karanam. Why is it called Parinami? Because it evolves from the manifest state into the unmanifest state, and again back from the unmanifest into the manifest. And this movement from the avyakta avastha into vyakta avastha, from the unmanifest state to the manifest state, what is that called?
Creation.
You should remember Bhagavad Gita. It is creation only.
Yeah.
In Bhagavad Gita, we said very clearly that birth is nothing but conversion of unmanifest into manifest, and death is nothing but conversion of manifest into unmanifest. Matter Maya. Upadana Karanam means what? Matter, right? And can matter be destroyed? No. Matter can only go from unmanifest state into manifest state, energy into material, visible state is the conversion and reversal also, right? So this Mula Avidya is the cause of the entire universe. And therefore he says, Jnane praviliyate. Praviliyate means dissolves in or resolves into. So can I request whoever has got the mic on to put it off? I'll have to put it off then in that case. I'll just mute everybody. Okay. So just don't put your mics on, because what will happen is the voice is reflected back and that causes a lot of disturbance. Okay, thank you so much. So jnanena praviliyate. In the wake of the knowledge, everything gets resolved. Everything gets resolved what? You have to understand that with jnanam, what is removed? Ajnanam is removed. And if ajnanam is the cause, then the product also gets removed when the cause is removed. So karana nashe karyaha nashaha. When the karanam goes, the karyam, the product also goes. What is the example? The Rajju Sarpa example is there. As long as you don't know what is the real nature of the rope, the snake is manifest. And not only is it manifest, it causes all sort of physical problems in you also. It causes your heart to beat fast. You want to run away. You begin to sweat. You begin to panic. But when the real nature of the rope is revealed as the rope, as the inert jada rope, then the snake also goes away. So rope ignorance is the cause of the manifestation of the snake, and rope knowledge, which means rope ignorance, is removed. Rope ajnanam, when it is removed, the product, this mithya sarpa, mithya snake, is also removed. Similarly, you can think of the dream state also. When you are dreaming, the dream world is duality, right? But when the dream is removed, the cause of the cause is the dream, right? When the dream is removed, the product, the dream world, is also removed. And therefore, the definition of sleep, they say, is ignorance of your status as the waker. Why? Remember, it is the waker who projects the dream. But in the dream, the dreamer doesn't know that he is the waker, right? And when does the dreamer know that he is a waker? When he wakes up. When he wakes up, the dream world is gone, right? So this is the first part, the origin of the world. And the second line deals with the Karta, the creator of the world. The creator is called Nimitta Karanam, right? The efficient cause. For example, if you take a chair or a table, wooden chair or wooden table, the Nimitta Karanam is carpenter, who is called the Karta. For a gold ornament, the Karta is goldsmith. He is the Nimitta Karana. And of course, when you say Karta, you can automatically take it as a Karta who is also a Bhokta. But here remember the correct meaning, because it is in the context of the universe, is Jagat Karta, which means the one who is not a Bhokta, a Samsari Ishvara. So this meaning should be taken contextually. In the case of Ishvara, the Bhokta part is dropped. There is no Punya Papam. In the case of the Jiva, the Karta is automatically a Bhokta. He has Punyam and Papam, which he has to experience. So when we talk about Ishvara, there are we can say that Ishvara is the Nimitta Karanam as well as the Upadana Karanam. Why so? Because Ishvara is Brahman plus Maya. And if you are looking at Ishvara as the creator, then from the framework of Brahman, Ishvara is Nimitta Karanam. From the framework of Maya, Ishvara is what? Upadana Karanam. Right? You can also present from Brahman's point of view, Ishvara is Vivarta Upadana Karanam. From the point of view of Maya, Ishvara is Parinami Upadana Karanam. All these ways of description we have already seen in our classes so far. So the point is, normally we can talk about Ishvara as Nimitta Karanam, right? Generally. Now, here, Shankara says, okay, no doubt, Ishvara is the Nimitta Karanam. Nimitta Karanam means the intelligent cause, the intelligent creator of the world. When you say intelligent cause, why do we say intelligent cause? Because that creator must have the knowledge necessary to create the product. When, for example, you say that the goldsmith is the karta, the nimitta karanam for the bangle, then you are also saying that the goldsmith has the necessary tools, the necessary skill to create the bangle, right? So here when you are saying Ishvara is nimitta karanam for the universe, then Ishvara must necessarily have the skill and the knowledge to create the universe. Therefore, Ishvara is called the intelligent cause, nimitta karanam. Okay, then the moment you say that Ishvara is nimitta karanam, intelligent cause, you can ask a question. If he is the nimitta karanam, the intelligent cause, why is it that the world has both good and evil? Why is it that some people are healthy and some people are sick? Why is it that some people help the world and other people are people who want to destroy the world? Some people give pleasure to everybody, some people give pain to the world. Why is it that this intelligent Karanam creates this kind of duality? Why not just have people who are all healthy? Why not just have people who are all good? Why not just have a universe which has no evil at all? So if you say that no, he is creating like that out of his own will, he is creating bad people and good people, healthy people and sick people, then what are you saying? That Ishvara likes some people and he doesn't like some people, which means he has raga dvesha. So, or in other words, Ishvara is partial. And what kind of a Ishvara is an Ishvara? Who enjoys seeing people suffer. So what is the answer? What is a possible, what is the only logical answer?
Ravi ji,
Ishvara
may
is also karma phala data. So based on the karmas, the good and the bad are created.
I will grant that to you, but can you word it, more appropriately? Anybody? We are talking
Acharya ji,
about
I
nimitta
Can say
karanam, right? The cause.
The world is created for all the individuals to exhaust their karma and in
That is
that
all fine.
mischievous act.
All I'm saying is, if you are, let us say, a goldsmith, why would you create bangles which are defective in nature?
Acharya ji, I remember in Bhagavad Gita we covered
that Lord Krishna says, I helplessly do it because it's our own karma which actually gives us the result of what we are doing.
You're all getting
according
somewhere, but you're not giving the absolutely right answer is what? You use the right word, helpless.
Yavasha.
But what? What does it mean? It means that the entire control is not in the hands of Ishvara. He is the creator, right? But the design of the world
If the
cannot be
gold
determined
is
by
18
Ishvara.
carat, it will be.
You see?
So,
If
Acharya ji, if the gold is not 22 carat, the ornament will be made of 18 carats.
yes, exactly. So the design of the gold bangle is dependent on two things: the skill of the goldsmith and the quality of the material. And similarly, when you say quality of the jiva, what are you referring to? If you have to
His
take that
karma.
example and
Karma.
exactly. So
His
there are two things
karma.
which are dependent.
Yeah.
Ishvara's skill of creating the world is definitely there. Is a nimitta karanam. But the world cannot be independently created by Ishvara. The design of the world is given by the karma of the jiva. So Ishvara is more like a tailor, you know. You give him the measurements and he delivers your clothes according to those measurements. His skill is not called into question, but the measurements can be called into question if you don't like it. And therefore, the design of the universe is meant for exhaustion of our punya papa. Right? We have asked for this universe exactly in accordance with our punya papam. And therefore, you can say that there are two karanams for the universe. One is the general cause, samanya karanam. One is the vishesha karanam, the specific cause. Ishvara is the samanya karanam. Karma is the specific karanam. Right? You take the example of a, judge. What is the job of the judge? He interprets the laws. What is the job of Ishvara? He interprets the laws of karma. Therefore, you can summarize this whole discussion as only karma cannot said to be the karanam for the universe. Why?
Because the unvariable samanya karanam of Ishvara, the skill,
No,
that
very
is
simple.
also.
You have to remember Upadesha Saram. First line. Karma kim
because karma is
param,
jadam.
karma tad jadam.
Bhakti, jadam. Yeah.
Right. So, karma cannot create the universe. Karma is jadam. Ishvara cannot be said to be the sole karanam for the universe, because if you say that Ishvara is sole karanam for the universe, then the design of the universe having both pleasure and pain will make Ishvara partial. You will have to say that he has also got ragadvesha. Right? And therefore you have to say the combination. The karma of all the jivas, which is interpreted by Ishvara, that is the cause of the universe. Ishvara is samanya karanam. Karma is vishesha karanam. Just like electricity, the power supply is samanya karanam. It is the design of the instrument which decides whether it will go round and give you air, or whether it will light up and give you light. The fan goes round and round dependent upon the instrument, the design of the fan. It is the same electricity which passes through. And therefore, it is the combination always which decides the nature of the universe. Okay. Now, another question. We say that since you're talking about the universe in general, right? We have to talk about the cumulative karma, the gross karma of all the jivas, not just human beings, all jivas. The gross karma of all jivas is what decides the nature of the universe. Right? How many plants are there? How many bacteria is there? How many trees are there? How many human beings are there? How many good human beings are there? How many bad human beings? All this is decided by the collective karma of all the jivas, not just the human beings. And therefore, if you say in this creation, this srishti, what is it based on? You have to say, of course, there is a samanya karanam, is Ishvara, the efficient cause, and there is a vishesha karanam, which is the karma available where? That karma of the previous srishti. Remember, we are talking about the birth of the universe, right? See, the birth of the universe is always dependent upon the total collective karma of all the jivas of the previous creation. When the previous creation went into pralayam, there was the collective karma of all the jivas which had yet to be experienced. And it is that collective karma which caused the new Srishti to come into being. And therefore, karma is responsible for the arrival and also the nature of this creation. The creation is born because of the previous karma, and the very nature of the creation is also decided by the previous karma. Right? What is the natural question? You are saying for this Srishti, you have to take the karma of the previous Srishti. So somebody can say, okay, what about the first Srishti? And therefore, Vedanta answers by saying that Srishti is always cyclical. And therefore, you cannot say that there is a first Srishti. It is a circle. There is no beginning and there is no end. Right? Now, arising out of all this, what are we saying? That the Karanam for the Jagat, the Vishesha Karanam for the Jagat is karma. And this is the view which is being discussed over here. Now, how does karma come about? We all know. Karma is born out of what?
Desire.
Out of desire.
Actions.
Out of desire. Right. Any karma means action. You do an action to fulfill a desire. Right? If you want to eat ice cream, what do? You go and buy some ice creams, or you make ice cream at home. Whatever. The action is that it arises out of the desire. So all karmas are based on kama, desires. Kama is the very root of all karma. In fact, even Ishvara creates because he wants to create. The desire to create is there because the desire to make sure that the world goes on is there. The world cannot go on until the karma phalam is given. The only difference between Ishvara's desires and Jiva's desires are what? All this you should remember from Gita classes.
The desires of the ordinary human beings tend to bind them into cycles of birth and death, whereas the Kala Chakra is not applicable to Ishvara.
Very good. So the desires of Ishvara are non-binding desires, which is why we also say that desires of a jnani are always non-binding. The desires of the ordinary jiva, ajnani jiva, is a binding desire. It brings him back into Kala Chakra, into the cycle of punyam and papam. And when you say non-binding desires, remember they are for the welfare of the world, right? Any desire which is unselfish and meant for Jan Kalyana, it is non-binding. And because it is non-binding, whether that desire is fulfilled or not fulfilled will not affect Ishvara. So when you say now that karma is the cause of the universe, of course, in the background is Ishvara as Samanya Karanam. So we're talking about karma now. Just remember that Samanya Karanam is always at the back. Okay. Is supporting, is blessing the karma. Now, karma we said was caused by kama. And therefore, if you take one step back, you can say that the karanam, the nimitta karanam is kama also, desire also. Because karma is the cause of the world and kama is the cause of karma. Therefore, obviously, kama is the cause of the world. And this is what he says here. Sankalpaha vividaha karta. Various sankalpas, various desires. They are the karta, the nimitta karanam. Remember we said karta means nimitta karanam. So various fancies of the mind, various desires of the mind, they are the karta. Vividaha means different, various types of. Vividaha sankalpaha, various types of desires. Kartaha, you have to supply jagat karta. They are the karta of the jagat. So, we said, how does this happen? You are passing by some fruit shop. You look at some very tasty looking apple, very nice looking apple. And then you say, okay, I want that apple. And then why do you want that apple? Because you feel when I eat that apple, I'll be happy. So karma is born, right? This is the way that you have to inquire into the jagat. So he says, vicharaha soyam idrishaha. In this manner only, the inquiry has to be done. In which manner? One by one, you have to analyze each word. And therefore, as we have seen so far, we have seen what? We have seen Jiva inquiry, we have seen Jagat inquiry, we have seen Nimitta Karanam inquiry. What is left out is Upadana Karanam inquiry. Okay. Now we look at verse number 15. We will chat. Please unmute yourself. Etayoryat upadanam etayoryadupadanam ekam sukshmam sadavyayam yathaiva mridghadadinam vicharassoyamidrishaha. So vicharassoyamidrishaha. In this manner, the inquiry is to be done. So he continues with that. Now, we say Maya is Upadana Karanam, right? But remember that Brahman can be looked upon as Vivarta Upadana Karanam. It can also be looked upon as Nimitta Karanam. Brahman can be called Nimitta Karanam, efficient cause, instrumental cause. It can also be called material cause, but if you are referring to Brahman as material cause, you have to add the word Vivarta. Vivarta means unchanging. So when sometimes you refer to Ishvara as the Upadana Karanam, as the material cause, then you have to bring in the two words, Vivarta and Parinami. Because Ishvara is the material cause. If you are saying Ishvara has two aspects, Brahman plus Maya, Brahman is unchanging, Maya changes. Therefore, Brahman is Vivarta Upadana Karanam and Maya is Parinami Upadana Karanam. So this Brahman has another name. It is called Sat. Okay. Now the word Sat is used in Chandogya Upanishad. So Sadeva idamagre asit, he says. Before this universe was born, there was only Sat, which is again Brahman. So Brahman is Sat. Why? Because what is the other meaning of Sat? It is existence principle, right? And Brahman is called Sat because it is the very material cause which can be taken as the existence in the product. What is the material cause of a bangle? It is the gold, right? So gold is the upadana karanam, the material cause of a bangle. And without that gold, the bangle cannot exist, right? If from a bangle you take away the gold, nothing remains. You cannot say bangle remains. We call it a golden bangle, right? There are two names, but there are not two things. There is only one thing. If you remove the gold, the bangle does not remain. And therefore the gold, the very expression of the gold in the bangle is what? Is the existence of the bangle. When you say bangle exists, this bangle is, you say, isness of the bangle. That existence of the bangle, you're referring to the fact that gold is there in the bangle. So the material cause expresses as the existence of the product. I hope that is clear. When you say that something is the upadana karanam, that something expresses as the very existence of the product. Therefore, the existence principle in all the ornaments is what? Gold itself. The existence of the chair is what? Wood itself. Right. So you can use the Anvaya Vyatireka argument for this. Let us take a simpler thing. Supposing you are going to drink tea, right? If you put sugar in the tea is sweet. If you do not put sugar in the tea is not sweet. So the conclusion is what? Wherever sugar is existing, sweetness exists. When sugar is not existing, sweetness does not exist. Therefore, the Anvaya Vyatireka leads to the conclusion that sugar is the cause for the sweetness. Now apply this same one to the gold. When gold is there, ornament exists, bangle exists. When gold is not there, bangle does not exist. What is the conclusion?
It's only because of the gold that the
The
bangle
gold
exists.
is the
The gold is the cause of the existence of the bangle.
Bang-
Anvaya Vyatireka argument. Right. So in Sanskrit, Karana Satve, Karya Satyam. Right. If the Karanam exists, the Karyam exists. Karana Abhave, Karanam does not exist. Karyam Abhavaha. The product does not exist. What is the conclusion? It is the Karanam alone which gives Satta to the Karyam. Satta is existence. It is the Karanam alone which gives existence to the product. And therefore Vedanta says that the Upadana Karanam, the material cause, will be expressing itself as what? As the very existence in all the products. And that is why Upadana Karanam is named existence, Sat. And since Brahman is the Upadana Karanam, Brahman is named Sat to indicate that it is the material cause. Okay, this is the argument which is going to be presented. So he says, Etayoho yat upadanam ekam sukshmam sat avyayam. He is saying that Etayoho, of these two, which two? Ajnanam and Ajnana Karyam. Of these two, he says the material cause, Upadanam, is Ekam. Which means what? There are two things. There is the ignorance, Ajnanam, and there is the Karyam, Ajnana Karyam, thoughts itself, product, whatever the product of the Ajnana. Of these two, there are two things, ignorance and product of ignorance. But he says, Upadana Ekam. The material cause is only one. So even though there are many ornaments, bangles are there, necklaces are there, the cause is only one. Even though you may have a chair and a table, the products are two, Upadanam Ekam. The cause is only one, which is wood. So this Upadanam is the one basic material out of which the entire universe, everything in the universe is composed. And what is that? Sat. It is Brahman. That Sat Ekam Bhavati. That Brahman is only one. And what is that Brahman? Sukshmam. Here the Sukshmam is because it is difficult to comprehend. It is extremely subtle. And you can take it as when you take two things, cause and product. The product is clearly visible, but the cause is not always clearly visible, and therefore sukshmam. When you look at a wooden table, you might miss the wood because the focus is on the table. Therefore, when you are making a comparison actually, between Karanam and Karyam, the Karanam is always said to be Sukshmam in comparison to the Karanam. You take, for example, a plant, and what is the Karanam for the plant?
The seed.
The seed.
The seed. Which is easier to study, the seed or the plant?
The plant.
The plant.
which is
And therefore, seed is
The plant.
Sukshmam in comparison to the plant. Right? The Karanam is always subtle when you compare it to the Karyam. And therefore, if you are going to do analysis where you are moving backwards from Karyam to Karanam, then you are going from the Sthulam, from the gross to the Sukshma, to the subtle. You're moving from the gross to the abstract. And Brahman is the ultimate cause of the universe. And therefore it is the most abstract, the most Sukshmam. That's what he says. Brahman Sat is very, very Sukshmam. It is impossible to comprehend. It is impossible to analyze using your perception. What is the next word? Avyayam. Vyayam means change. Avyayam means non-changing. So non-changing means not subject to change in time, because you know that change occurs in time only. Therefore, non-changing is not bound by time, not conditioned by time. And if this is one of the changes which is being negated. In the Shadvikara, if you recall your Tattvabodha, what is that change which occurs due to time? Or what are the changes? Okay, let's come to basics. What are the Shadvikaras?
Asti
Asti
jayate
jayate
vardhate
vardhate
viparimate
viparimate
apakshiyate vinashyati.
E vinashyati.
Which of these are dependent upon time?
All.
All of them.
All.
Right? All are dependent upon time. All changes are caused by time. Therefore, when he is saying here avyayam, remember he is saying Shadvikara Rahitam, free from the Shadvikaras. That is how you have to connect. He doesn't say Shadvikara here. He says avyayam. Avyayam means undecaying, not susceptible to any change caused by time. And therefore, you have to bring in your Tattva Bodha and say Shadvikara Rahitam. It is free from all changes caused by time. And this Brahman, such a Brahman, is the basic material Upadana Karanam of the entire creation. And therefore, it is the basic substance of Ajnanam and Sankalpaha. Right? If you see the previous verse, two things were mentioned. Ajnanam was mentioned as the Karanam, and the cause was the Sankalpaha, the desires. Ajnanam was Maya, Sankalpaha is all the desires, all the Kamaha. Therefore, a very important point. Brahman is not only the substance of all your desires, it is also the substance of Maya. It is because of Brahman alone that Maya can exist. It is because of Maya alone that your desires can exist. The very existence of Maya is borrowed from whom? From whom? From Brahman. Very existence of your desires, therefore, is necessarily borrowed from Brahman only. So both your desires as well as Maya depend upon Brahman for existence. Now, a very subtle point here, okay? You are saying that, or I am saying that Brahman is the very substance behind Maya or behind Ajnanam, right? I am, to put it in Sanskrit, Brahman is the Upadanam for Maya. I will not say Brahman is Upadana Karanam for Maya. It's a very careful use of the word. Brahman is Upadanam for Maya. Maya is Upadana Karanam for the universe, yes. But Brahman is Upadanam for Maya. You cannot say that Brahman is Upadana Karanam for Maya. It's a very, very subtle distinction which we should understand. Why can you not say that Brahman is Upadana Karanam for Maya? Why am I insisting that you say Brahman is Upadanam, but not Upadana Karanam?
Because
It
Kartri
is-
Brahman is not a karta.
Yeah, it's a
Brahman is not
substratum.
karta.
Because
Because they're different things then.
Sorry?
Because then there will be two different things. Duality will be there. Karan and Karya.
yeah, that
Okay,
Brahman.
I'll grant you that. But there's one more important point.
Ravi ji, may I try?
Please, Dattaji.
See, because both are supposed to be without beginning.
Absolutely. Maya is Anadi. Maya is Anadi. And therefore, how can you talk about its Karanam? That is why you cannot say that Brahman is Upadana Karanam for Maya. Brahman is Upadanam for Maya. That clarity we should have, otherwise we'll get confused. Normally, remember, whenever you say Upadana Karanam, you are using it in the terms of Upadanam, in the meaning of Upadanam. But here we have to be very careful. When we talk about Maya, we'll simply say Brahman is Upadanam, not Upadana Karanam. Maya is Anadi. It is not a Karyam. The Maya existed from beginningless time. And Maya exists with borrowed existence, yes. But Brahman is Anadi. Maya is also Anadi. There is no Karana Karyam Sambandha between Brahman and Maya. There is no creator-created relationship between Brahman and Maya. You cannot say that. But Brahman lends existence to Maya. Therefore, Brahman is the Upadanam for Maya. And Shankara in his commentary is very careful. He uses the word Upadanam, but he does not use the word Karanam. Very small things which we might miss, but the commentaries are very, very interesting. Bhashyams. And therefore he says, Yathaiva Mrid Ghata Adi Nam. Mrid is what? Clay. Ghata is pot. Just like, what is he talking about? Just like Mrid is the substance of clay. Mrid Ghata Adi Nam. You have to supply over the Upadana Karana, Upadanam. Just as the clay is the substance of all things like all earthenware, like a clay pot, a clay jug, a clay plate. Clay is the stuff, material karanam of the pot. Brahman is the upadana karanam of our sankalpas and the world. Brahman is upadanam for Maya. But the fact is that other than Brahman, there is no material at all. There is no substance at all. Other than clay, there is no pot at all. What is pot? Pot has got three things: Nama, Rupa, and it came into existence for a particular purpose. You store water in the pot. So far we have been saying that product is Nama Rupa. For better understanding, you can add that product is Nama Rupa Karma. The karma here means function. Okay. So product is always defined as the name, the form, and the function. And that is why the bangle has a different function from the necklace. Right? There is no substance called bangle or necklace. But if you add these three attributes, Nama, Rupa, Karma, to gold, you get functional entities which you call bangle, which you call necklace. Similarly, there is no substance called Maya. There is no substance called Jagat. There is no substance called desire. There is only one substance, Brahman. You add Nama, Rupa, and desires and functions, and you come across the world of multiplicity. So here he says, Vicharaha soyam idrashaha. This kind of an inquiry into Brahman is called Vicharaha, Vedanta Vichara. Okay. Any questions so far? We have discussed what all we have discussed. Brahman, Jagat, Upadana Karanam, Nimitta Karanam.
So, Raviji.
Yeah.
In case of Maya, because it is also Anadi, that's why we are calling Brahman as Upadanam and not the Upadana Karanam. But in other cases, you just only used the term Upadana Karanam.
Because wherever there is a what they call seeming birth,
okay,
then you can use it as Upadana Karanam.
but actually that seeming birth is due to Maya, where Maya is, in case of Maya, Brahman is Upadanam. So it indirectly
No.
Brahman.
No.
Oh,
Maya is never born, always exists.
no, Jagat is because of Maya.
Jagat is because of Maya. If you are looking at Parinami Upadana Karanam, yes. It is Maya which manifests as Jagat, and therefore you can take it as birth. At a higher level, you can say that's what we are always keeping on saying. Ultimately saying, even that, there is no real Jagat, there is only Brahman. So when you say
Yes,
that, then you can dismiss birth itself. But the argument here is different.
yes. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay,
Acharyaji, many
yeah,
many questions. Uh,
please
so,
go ahead. Go ahead.
from the previous class, I have a question where in verse 13, that Naham Bhuta Gano Deho Naham Chaksha Ganas Tatha.
Yeah.
So there the teaching was Etad Vilakshanam Kinchat Soyam Idrisha. So it was different. It was not that. But in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 and in chapter 4, the verse 16, which was Aham Kratoraham Yagniha, and from chapter 4, the verse 24, Brahmarpanam, it says Sarvam, everything is Brahman. So are these two not contradicting each other? The teachings here,
No.
it is saying that Etad will.
One is, see, the thing is that to arrive at Brahman, in intellectual discussions, what must you first analyze?
Anatma.
Anatma. And if you are analyzing Anatma and saying there is a Karanam for it, right? Remember that when you say Jagat and Brahman, you can say Jagat and Brahman are Vilakshanam. You can also say Jagat and Brahman are Samanyam. How do you say that? Whenever you talk about two different entities, they are separate. So when you are going to discuss the differences, they are separate. But when you are saying one is Satyam and one is Mithya, then they are the same. Because the Mithya Vastu
But that be
doesn't really
orders.
exist.
Yeah,
Different levels
because
of
that will
reality.
be orders of reality.
Orders of
So,
reality.
as you said, as you just said that Maya is also Anadi and Brahman is Anadi, but Maya is Mithya, and so it belongs to a different order of reality.
Correct. That is why you can say there is only Advaitam. No.
Yes.
Because there's a lower order of reality, you can dismiss it and say that is why only Brahman exists.
Yes, and another doubt, Acharya ji, when you said that karma is one of the causes for creation. So and it is the karma of the previous srishti. So as we can all observe, the previous srishti was better. Like Satyuga was followed by Dwapar and Treta, and then Kali Yuga came. So the quality of karma has declined. So how come after this Kali Yuga and after the Mahapralayam, another Satyuga will emerge? Not just because of I can't understand that concept of cyclical if it is a previous srishti with a bad karma.
You made the mistake of assuming that the karma balance is only from previous srishti.
Can you please repeat, Acharya ji?
You cannot say that. See, one statement I made was that this srishti is because of the karma of previous srishti. Right? You should add the
Right.
word fructifying karma of previous srishti. It is not totality of all
Yes.
karma, right?
Okay.
Therefore, there's a series of beginningless, infinite number of universes or srishtis before that.
Yeah.
So you are only taking part of it, which is prarabdha. And when this cycle is over, you are going to revert back to more karma. There will be infinite number of karma, good, bad, ugly, everything.
Yeah. So that means the karma phaladata is still the decision maker for which karmas of the totality of karmas are
You
going to
can say
fructify.
that. You can also say that whatever is, whatever karma is sort of bubbling to come out, he takes those.
Okay. So I was just wondering.
Ultimately, if you're going to do
I
a
was just wondering why this
word-to-word
COVID.
analysis, it's not going to happen because Maya is
No,
anirvachaniyam.
I was just wondering why we had this pandemic now.
Pandemic is again collective karma. You can never wonder why. As long as you wonder why something is happening, you have not totally assimilated.
Obviously.
Your assimilation is total when you accept that whatever has come, bad, good, for me, for others, it is only because of karma. When that happens, then you are beginning to assimilate. And that is only when you get the transformation in your mind which gives you peace comes out of that acceptance that whatever is coming could not have been avoided because of the past karma. It'll be painful. It may be painful. You might feel sympathy, you might feel hurt, you might feel all sort of emotions. But beyond all that, you have to accept that, yes, this could not have been avoided. And you should not be asking, why, oh Lord, did you do this to me or to the world? That is
Right.
total assimilation. All of us have to work towards that point.
Ji, thank
very,
you, Acharya.
very good point you made, Ritu. Anyway, I hope everybody has understood the real nature of assimilation. Intellectually, it is fine to know these things happen. But if you are getting a question, why is this happening? What is the Lord doing? Then you have to remind yourself of the teaching. Your morning paper is basically a good trigger for Nidhi Dhyasanam.
Yes, Acharya. And that's why Aham Brahmasmi gives greater solace and only solace compared to the other karma aspect, which is variable and which can fructify anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, so with this we'll stop. Thank you for your patience. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you for your
Om
patience.
Tat Sat.
Om.
Thank you, sir.